On Sunday, the San Francisco 49ers cemented their status as legitimate and dangerous Super Bowl contenders by going into New Orleans and beating the Saints in their own house, despite the Saints having extra time to prepare for the game. How did the 49ers accomplish this? Let's take a look. Both teams knew this was going to be an epic battle, and the Saints came out swinging, and they land the first blow. They send the running back into the area of responsibility for Fred Warner. Now, the back is going to actually cut back out to the outside here. But what this does is it allows the tight end, Jared Cook, to cut behind Warner and come wide open for a touchdown. The natural adjustment here is for the linebackers to carry Cook a little bit deeper in the zone and allow the completion underneath, even if it's for a first down. Bend, but don't break. The safety Marcel Harris is a little late reacting to the play, and he's not in a good enough position to really come and deliver the blow on Cook. And as a result, he can't make the tackle, and Cook takes the ball into the end zone for a touchdown, and the Saints immediately go up by a score of 7-0. But the 49ers are a young, hungry contender, and they come out swinging as well. On their very first play from scrimmage, they hand the ball off to the running back. But already we can see that they're setting up this rollout for Jimmy Garoppolo later in the game. And from here, they can bring George Kittle across and do all kinds of fancy things like that. But you know what? Kyle Shanahan says, forget about setting it up. We're going to do this right now. And here you can see the ball is still in Garoppolo's hands. Now the Saints do a good job of keying on Kittle here. And in fact, they have 3 defenders guarding him on the play. Well, what this means is that Emmanuel Sanders at the bottom of the screen is one-on-one. And what he does is go deep. And as soon as the defensive back breaks into a sprint, he just turns around and catches a pass. It's a well-executed play that goes for 19 yards on the 49ers' first play from scrimmage. Let's go back to the snap. You can see Kittle is held a little bit there. There's no call, so Garoppolo just moves to his next read, which is to Sanders. Sanders had a lot of separation on that, and it's an easy completion. Okay, let's take a look at the 49ers' very next play. This one is a classic. Garoppolo fakes the toss to the running back, and what this does is hold the linebacker just long enough so that Sanders can run a quick slant. Garoppolo threads the needle beautifully, and Sanders goes for 31 yards on the play. And gosh, he almost looked like John Taylor in 1989 against the Rams there. Now the Saints did send a blitz on this play, but check out the pass protection from George Kittle here. Oh, everything about that play was beautiful. Okay, let's move on to the next one. All right, now right off the bat, Kyle Juszczyk is going to go in motion, and the linebacker will go with him. The 49ers are also going to send the running back out on a route, and the middle linebacker will go with him too. And we talked about the fact that the 49ers will do this to move defenders out of the way, to open up the middle of the field. Now at the bottom, you see that the defensive back is taking an outside technique on Deebo Samuel, so he's going to run another slant. Actually, it's more like a post corner, but he runs it beautifully. Check it out. Deebo takes it down to the 5, and that's a 25-yard gain. So if you're keeping track, I have not skipped any plays here. That's 3 consecutive plays the 49ers have gotten these big chunks on offense. All right, time to punch it in. Take a look at the corner at the top of the screen. We're going to be watching him on the play. The 49ers send Kendrick Bourne, and he gives him just a little bit of a move to the outside, but what he actually does is just kind of box him out like a basketball player, and Garoppolo rifles the ball in. Touchdown 49ers, and they have landed an effective counter punch. Now Garoppolo has a clean pocket and a nice window, and look at the velocity on that ball. My goodness. Bourne hangs on for the catch. All right, we're all tied up at 7, but you know what? Sean Payton and Drew Brees get paid too, and they come punching right back. Now, one thing the 49ers do here is decide to guard the first down. So what the Saints do is send all 4 of their receivers deep past the first down marker. This is a little bit of a problem for the 49ers. You can see at the bottom Witherspoon is in good position, but the other defensive backs for San Francisco have been burned, and now there's only 2 safeties covering 3 receivers for the Saints. Cook, again, is just streaking wide open towards the end zone, and Brees avoids the pass rush here and floats him a nice ball. Now Witherspoon comes over and lays the hit on him. There's some question as to whether or not that was actually a touchdown, but they ruled it a touchdown, so I guess we'll go with the official record there. As far as the penalty goes, I don't love the call. But I'm old school. You know, I remember when football was a contact sport and all of that. Was it a fair application of the rule? Yeah, it probably was. Now, the Saints took a little bit of a risk on this play because it's a long developing route, and ordinarily the 49ers pass rush would get home. And here you can see Nick Bosa is being held a little bit. Okay, he leads with his shoulder, but he hits him in the head. I understand the call. The ball comes out at the end, so that's why I say there was a little bit of question whether or not that was a touchdown. But what ends up happening is because there's the personal foul, the Saints get the ball at the 1-yard line instead of the 2-yard line should they decide to go for 2. And so they figure, well, heck, we're a yard closer. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go for 2. I used to do this in Madden. Now, I think it was Chris Biederman that pointed out the Saints decide to run wide here, which is really one of the strengths of the 49ers defense, is stopping those wide runs. So it was kind of an unusual play call, and the 49ers stop them. So the Saints do not convert. They only get 6 points on that, and that will be a factor later in the game. Okay, the 49ers have to punt. The Saints get the ball back, and they move all the way down the field again. And here they run a really nice play that the 49ers like to run too. The fullback fakes like he's going to lead block for the running back, and then as soon as he gets past the defense, he's just going to turn around and catch a pass. Perfectly executed, and very quickly the Saints have racked up a 20-7 lead on the 49ers. But you already know the 49ers are going to swing back. That's just the kind of team they are. And here, the 49ers hit him with an uppercut. First and foremost, the 49ers start off with this kind of double fake handoff here, and this holds the linebackers. It also causes a little bit of confusion as 2 defenders guard Tevin Coleman, who is a threat to catch passes out of the backfield. But what this means is that Emmanuel Sanders is now in a great position to split the 2 safeties in the middle of the field. And he gives the safety in front of him a little bit of an outside move and then cuts back to the inside. And all that takes a lot of time to develop. And the only sort of problem with this is that he gets way down the field before it's clear that he's wide open and Garoppolo can throw him the football. So Garoppolo just chucks an absolute bomb, but this ball has to travel 57 yards in the air. Sanders is going to have to slow up for the football, so the other safety is going to have a chance to make a play on the ball. It's going to be a 50-50 situation, but in that case, I feel really good about my chances with Sanders there. Now, the safety is unable to locate the football, and he kind of falls down. They were jostling a little bit, but no interference or anything. Sanders makes the catch, falls down, gets back up, and is able to run into the end zone for a 75-yard touchdown. And just like that, the 49ers send the message to the Saints that, hey, we are not going anywhere, and we're ready to trade blows with you all game long. From this angle, we see Kendrick Bourne in pass protection, and the launch point is the 16, and the ball is caught at the 25-yard line there, so somebody check my math on that. But yeah, that's pretty impressive. A great play by Sanders, who's just been a phenomenal addition to this 49ers offense. We can't say it enough. 20-14. Saints get the ball. They drive down again. Drew Brees does his classic jump quarterback sneak. And the Saints strike right back. This is going to be a back and forth affair all game long. It is now 27-14. And you guessed it, the 49ers come right back again. They start off with another fake handoff, and again, this holds the linebackers just enough. Now Sanders, who had just burned them on the previous play, gets picked up by both safeties again, and they're going to make sure that this time they stay with him. And what this means is that Deebo Samuel is completely one-on-one on the outside. This is part of the genius of Kyle Shanahan as a play caller, right? Deebo starts out running to the corner, and then he cuts to the inside. The defensive back goes with him, and Garoppolo delivers a perfect pass here right on the money, and it's another long gain for the 49ers. Let's go back to the snap. Now remember, I said they started this play with a run fake, and here they really sell it. And in order to sell it, they have Joe Staley and Laken Tomlinson double teamed to the inside. This means that George Kittle is all alone to block the defensive end on the outside. And a defensive end is typically going to beat a tight end, but watch as Kittle does a great job of holding on just long enough to give Garoppolo the time to deliver that ball way down the field. That is very impressive blocking by the best tight end in the league. Okay, very next play. The 49ers start with another run fake. Garoppolo will then roll out, but wait a second, this time they actually hand it off to the running back, and he explodes down the sideline for a 19-yard gain on the play. And this is what makes it so difficult to defend the 49ers, is you really do not know whether they are going to run or pass. They are so good at this. Now, one of the reasons this play was so successful is check out the excellent block on the outside by Emmanuel Sanders here. Everybody on this team blocks. Whether you're a wide receiver or a tight end or a running back or a lineman, everybody blocks, and they do a great job of it. Okay, very next play. Again, they're going to have George Kittle block the defensive end and use Staley and Tomlinson to seal to the inside. But this time they're also going to pull the guard and bring Deebo Samuel around on a sweep. He tosses the ball to Sanders on a reverse, who throws the ball to a wide open Raheem Mostert on the play for a touchdown. Oh my goodness. Talk about a haymaker. The Saints have to be feeling like a punch-drunk fighter at this point. They don't know what's coming. All right, let's talk about how Raheem Mostert got so wide open on the play. You see him here, and he's facing off against the great Cameron Jordan, who probably thinks that Mostert is going to try to block him on the play so that Sanders can continue on the end around. Well, Mostert just blows right by him. And as great as Jordan is, Mostert just has that blistering speed, and nobody's going to be able to keep up with him. He is wide open on the play. It's 27-21, and the 49ers are rolling. This next play is a really nicely designed run. Joe Staley sets up to the inside and kind of just blocks his man in that direction. Matt Breida in the backfield takes a step to his right, and this causes the linebacker to match him. And when he does that, that allows Kittle to come in and seal him off, at which point Breida will cut back against the grain and run through that hole. Now, you may be wondering, what about this linebacker here off the edge of the screen? Who's going to block him? Well, let's take a look. And there's your answer. It's Kendrick Bourne, who makes a really nice, solid block on the play. It's a 28-yard run for Matt Breida, who gets tackled late out of bounds there, no call. But the Saints are probably getting a little tired of the 49ers just cutting up these huge chunks of yards on them, too. Watch how all the Saints players have to change direction here, and that's never good when you have to do that. Can't believe Breida didn't get that call there, but it doesn't matter. Kyle Shanahan is feeling it right now. And before we move on, we're going to take a look at a play the Saints ran against the Chicago Bears all the way back in Week 7. All right, it's a 3rd down and 1 here, and the Saints really want to pick this up against this great Chicago Bears defense. So Peyton draws up a really nice play here. He brings in the fullback, Zach Line, and it just seems like all the best teams have a fullback. But anyway, you can see they also have Taysom Hill in the backfield. And Taysom Hill, to me, is awesome. I mean, he's like Paul Hornung. He can do everything. He can run. He can pass. He's the ultimate weapon. And just when it looks like Line is about to be blown up, he pitches the ball to Hill, who takes it for a huge gain. It's a really nice play. Well designed, well executed. So what do the 49ers do here? No, they didn't. They did not just run the Saints' own play against him. Well, sort of. Diehard fans of the 49ers and this channel will remember that we broke down a play the 49ers did last year against the Kansas City Chiefs where they did the same thing. Home field advantage means everything in the playoffs, and the coaches are letting it all hang out today. Now, I am sure that the best coaches in the league, like Sean Payton, like Kyle Shanahan, know that football is about blocking and tackling. And here, we're going to look at another great block by George Kittle. Check it out. Now he's opened up a really nice hole for Mostert here, and it looks like there's still one man left in position to make the tackle. But we keep talking about how these defenders are surprised by the speed of Mostert. You see the two safeties crash into each other at the end there. They were surprised too, and I think it was David Lombardi that tweeted out, "These guys look like when the blast doors are closing in Star Wars. Check this out." That is something else in the NFL. It just really speaks to Mostert's speed and how valuable he has become. And would you look at that, the 49ers take the lead, 28-27, going into the half. Now the Saints are a great team. They're going to withstand some blows, and here they come up with a huge interception. Let's go back to the snap and take a look at how it happened. And see the ball hit Sanders right in the hands. It looked like Sanders kind of slowed up for some reason. And the linebacker, Craig Robertson, makes a great play. He's in perfect position, and he comes down with the football. And this leads to points for the Saints. They get a field goal out of this. So they take the lead right back, 30-28. Well, so far we've taken a look at some beautiful, dazzling, spectacular, impactful plays by these two teams which have clearly set themselves apart as the two best teams in the NFC, but I promise you guys, the best is yet to come. I'm going to post part 2 of this video as soon as I can. You won't want to miss it, and I will see you guys then.